The other day, or rather last night, I was just having this thought about how no one really blames themselves for anything. In fact, this idea comes from a chapter in the book How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And I noticed that Mr. Carnegie, in his book, talked about that subject of not harshly criticizing people because no one really blames themselves for anything. And I think some criticism is good only because how would someone know they're not doing the correct thing if they don't know what's up? However, I do recognize that people are quick to not blame themselves. That too often, if something goes wrong, we always have an alibi as to either why we did it or that we didn't really do anything wrong, that we acted in the best possible way. And too often we are quick to excuse ourselves or to justify or to rationalize things away. We don't say, "Oh, thank you for giving me this criticism." What we normally say is, "No, man, I'm wrong. Or excuse me, we say, "No, man, I'm not wrong. You're wrong, or you're this, or you're that." So when people feel they're being blamed, they they retaliate and they try to redirect the blame onto you to get it off of them. Um, and this was another video that I did. I probably it was real earlier. Or I talked about too often we want to see ourselves as the offended, but we forget that at times we too can be the offender or the offenders. So that's just something I really think about is that people don't criticize themselves as much as they should, I think. And too often, not only are we quick to excuse ourselves, we're also quick to blame another person too. So that's the irony. We ourselves can't stand blame, but we're quick to blame the other person. We even have all sorts of alibis. For example, let's say someone is unfaithful or cheats in a relationship. The cheater doesn't say, "You know what, I was foul for doing that." What they say is, "This person wasn't satisfying me in the way I thought I should be satisfied, so I had to step out of the relationship." Or if someone is late to a job, and I've been guilty of this, I'll be mad at the job for not understanding my schedule, you know, as opposed to, "Oh, I I was late and I should have had better time management skills." But instead I say, "It's my boss's fault that he scheduled me this hour and he knows that I have this, that, and the other thing." Or a teacher in school. We blame the teacher in school when she gave me all this homework when I have this party to go to, or she gave me all this homework when I have other classes I have to deal with. So we do live in a culture where we want to blame, but we don't want anybody to blame us. And then when people do blame us, we we redirect the blame. We try to reshift the blame to someone else. It's sort of like a hot potato game almost, if you really think about it. It's like that the hot potato game where you'd be like, hot potato, go real fast, hot potato, run out of gas. And whoever is stuck with the hot potato, they're out of the game. And that's kind of what we're doing with blame. It's like, no, you, no, you. Well, no, we can blame this, or we can blame the weather, we can blame God, or we blame our parents, we blame our genetics, we blame the state we live in, we blame everybody, but we don't look at the things we're doing. We don't say, "Hey, you know what? Maybe I could be a little bit more kind. Maybe I could be a little more social. Maybe I could be a little more assertive when it comes to certain situations." As opposed to, well, it's my parents' fault, it's my environment's fault, it's my genetics' fault. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that. Don't get it twisted in the sense that everything that happens is all on you, because that's not true. You don't control the clouds and the weather unless you have a weather machine and technology that can do that. But you yourself didn't make it rain or snow, or you yourself can't control what happens to you as far as like car accidents or stomach aches or whatever. That's all part of the vicissitudes of life. But there are the things you can control. We can control a lot more than we think we can. I will agree to that. But too often we are quick to not to excuse ourselves. You know, like in the TV show where the guy tries to shoot the basketball and then he loses the basketball game and he's like, "Oh, I lost because the sun was in my eyes. The sun was in my eyes." Yeah, that's what it was. Not, "Hey, I didn't have enough skill to beat you," or "I didn't play the game in such a way that I could beat you." And, "Hey, you won. I'm the better man won." Nobody likes to have that feeling of egg on their face, so to speak. And I'm included in that. And I'm not going to sit here and preach like I don't go through those things, because I personally have been the person to excuse any type of bad behavior I've done. I've seen people do it. I saw it in a buddy of mine, good buddy of mine. And and I see often patterns in how he's very quick to try to explain away his actions or rationalize or excuse himself, like, "Hey, it wasn't really that bad. That's just how it is. That's how we do it around here." And he's too quick to explain things away. And before I was gonna just in my mind sort of make him to be this person, this bad person, I thought about him. I said, "You know what? The same thing in my buddy is also the same thing in me. I too have been in situations where I did this thing and then I blame the other person for the foul thing I did. When in reality, I was the foul person, whether or not they were doing something good or bad." So that's just something I've observed. Like, I wonder why we do that. Why do we do that? Well, that is my time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please comment and rate. Thank you.